Alright guys, and we are back with more Tales of Phantasia, right where we left off. And Hevrick 35 was laying some pretty heavy stuff on us. Telling us stuff like, the Great Spirit is just, man, it's just a problem. And then Donans and Renans the same, like what? I'm like, huh? But like the more I listened to this, the more it reminded me of, like, of course the song I mentioned in the episode before this. There was a song called "Invisible Invaders," and oh man, this is that badass controller. Yeah, fuck. I'm sure, like, why the fuck is she moving like that? But there's a song in Final Fantasy 13 too, where like one of the coolest lines was like, you don't always have to do what you've been told. And it's like, I feel like that's like the theme here for this game. And the more I think about that, it makes me think about Legend of Dragoon. Well, one of my favorite RPGs growing up as a kid on the PS1. Because there was a character named Maru, and she was my favorite for obvious reasons. But I liked her attitude. Like, they were telling her, you're a Wingly, you gotta stay in the Wingly Forest. This is how things have been from, day one. You accept this, and that's it. That's the only way you're supposed to go. And she's like, no, I don't want to believe that. I want to find my own way. I want to, I don't want to listen to what I've been told. I want to go out there and meet different species. Like, they were telling her, you can't interact with other species, and you can't interact with outsiders and stuff like that. It's crazy. But I think about, when I think about that, I think about this game, and that's like, dang, that's crazy. But, so, it's enough for that, but it's just, you get the message. But so let's go ahead and approach this lady and see what's going on. It'll take some time to completely repair your starship. I should just get some rest in the interim. Alright, let's do it.
Still thinking about what the scientists told us?
Look at
about
the
where
legs.
Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
Crazy. That's what I'm saying.
You still confront this truth head on, don't you?
She's so hot, dude.
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying. but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright. To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more. That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menencia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Check it up with her.
If you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind.
Bruh.
Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all,
Whoa.
don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
You better marry that chick, boy. Kisara, come on. Come on. You know what time it is. Alphen and Shionne are gonna be last.
Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you were angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings?
See, I was suspicious of it too. I was like,
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, and I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good. Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed Psyche. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning. Even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust in Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You What?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah. Maybe.
Everett 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me. To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will, well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No. What were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember
Come
saying
on!
anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already! Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Shionne?
Same as you. Still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We're only fighting all the lords on Dana. Well, that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah.
If we can't find the Rena's Alma, there's something I want you to do.
Oh no.
Like Hevrek 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Rena's Alma back, you'll use the blazing sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it. It's true the blazing sword may not have the strength of the Rena's Alma, but it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that
Listen, the Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
On you, Shionne. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Shionne.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
Oh, she looks happy.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns
He's like, huh?
made contact, a mistake no one would ever make twice. After that happened, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
That's crazy. That's the
You don't
second
have to
time
worry
it's
about that
happened.
for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Shionne,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Look at her.
yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena. Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dig Phasal.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe
Brr.
we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship.
Hmm?
You can now make use
Hey,
of
can we go
warp
back?
drive.
Hold up, bro.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
So can we go back before we do?
Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helgenquil after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being
Oh,
detected.
shit. I was trying to go back.
Should?
Uh-oh.
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helgenquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Joe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have
Right.
one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the phone lines.
And this is crazy.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the hell come?
I don't sense a piece of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
It's gonna happen to
So
us
the Great
too.
Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it,
This is what
Dana's
Donna's
going to
gonna
look
look
like?
like. Right.
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spent.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shionne and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. Looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
Destroyed remnants. Rena.
So this is Rena. This is
Special
where
owls
everything
seem to have appeared throughout
It's a dead
Donna.
I won't let Dana suffer the same
What?
fate. Ever.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Bruh.
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be here one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renaissance using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing their thorns, Shionne's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength. It's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shionne's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
We might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renaissance, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's right. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
It's pretty awesome. I don't know why I'm getting near vibes from this song. This song is kind of nice. It's a teleportal, obviously.
sucked into that pit of astral energy.
Dohalim?
I wonder what Hilganquil civilization was like at its zenith.
I can imagine that'd be something you'd take an interest in.
There's no question it must have been advanced, like none either world has ever seen. We could surely stand to learn a thing or two from such a people.
I get that you're itching to delve into its history, but we've got bigger fish to fry right now.
Put a pin in it, and you can do all the research you want when you retire.
I can think of worse things than a Rena dedicated to research. As for whether Rena is amenable to an aging specimen...
It's a little early to be giving it serious thought just yet.
A man can dream, though. A man can dream.
Oh, we didn't say there's anything wrong with dreaming.
In your case, Dohalim, dream's the habit of spiraling into something else.
You'll need to stay with us for now, though. You're too helpful to let retire.
Why do I feel this is less of a compliment and more of an ultimatum?
Just a friendly suggestion.
Bruh. Keeping up with that young
Hey,
quill.
I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
Bruh.
What? No! I mean, wait, you fed us rotten food?
Rinwell, the point.
Oh, yeah, right. So I was thinking about those armored soldiers we've seen. There are regular Renans inside them, right?
Yeah, they're designed to make whoever's wearing them stronger. At least, I think that's the idea.
Right. So it kind of begs the question then, why are they made so huge?
I don't know, makes them more intimidating, I guess? Or maybe all that tech wizardry inside takes up a lot of space.
You don't think it's weird how the armored soldiers are the exact same height as the Helganquil?
Can't say I'd ever noticed until now. And?
Connect the dots, Law!
Okay, let me get this straight. You think the armored suits might have originally been designed to allow Renans to work alongside the Helganquil?
But if that's true, what would that mean?
It would mean... just that, I guess. But still, don't you think it's kind of interesting?
Not hugely. Hey, Kisara, about you. What's on tonight's menu? Because I was
Bruh.
thinking, maybe meat.
Bruh.
Poodle.
What did I do?
Oh,
Nothing.
now you want to listen. Keep pecking, Poodle!
Ow, ow, ow! Seriously, what the hell?
Still gets on my fucking nerves.
You know, guys, when you think about it, we've taken out a lot of Zoogles. Like, a whole lot.
You can say that again. If one thing's for certain in this world, it's that wherever we go, we'll always end up bumping into them.
Isn't it weird that they're still so plentiful? You don't think the Renans have, like, a ranch where they breed them, do you?
Bruh.
Certainly in all of my years, I've never heard of them constructing such a massive facility on Dana, let alone up in Lenegis.
The only thing I can think of, then, is that the feral ones must be reproducing on their own.
There's also no organized effort on our part to hunt them down, so it's difficult to fully exterminate them.
Exterminate them? Whoa, don't you think that's maybe a little harsh?
What do you mean?
Zoogles originally used to be living creatures native to Dana and Rena, right? Being genetically modified isn't their fault.
You're right. Zoogles were only created because of us Renans. We altered the original creatures to suit our own ends.
First, people made Zoogles, and we let them go. And now we're trying to kill them because they're a threat. They really have only seen the very worst, huh?
I hope we find a way to be able to live side by side with them one day.
Nice thought, but they attack towns and cities. What else are we supposed to do?
Aside from the strays that have gone wild, it's worth remembering that Renans are able to keep them somewhat under control.
If we had distinct territories that didn't overlap, that might reduce the danger they pose.
Well, I guess when you look at it that way, maybe people and Zoogles aren't so different after all.
Yikes.
disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
They're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Where are you going? The waters of creation. We're in the home stretch, guys.
What she said? Eyes on the prize.
Use that focus goes double for you, Law.
Me? How come I get singled out?
Your honors are really incredible.
It's thanks to you I can use them.
But I promise I'll always...
I don't even know the word. Your astral arts are truly incredible.
Every little bit helps, right? Indeed it does. Here goes.
She had her mystic art. God damn it!
Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done. But I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I wonder if we're going to get attacked again.
If we lose heart now, this whole mission is over. You have to stick to course.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lennigus, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they
Damn.
had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In tragedy's aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. The Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renan or Danan, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
Alphen Vivid Wolf.
Should have messed with me. Sweeping them up is a one-man job.
By all means, be my guest.
I mean, you can help if you want. You can carry. I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw! You're all finishing here!
Lady Fortune must truly be watching over me.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danans?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Very.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danans. And it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once
We're Danans too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Shionne and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
Shout out to my boy Makoto.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt.
Great Joe.
Is this a dead end?
It appears this whole room functions as an elevator. The apparatus there is likely what's used to control it.
What the? Where did they come from?
Less worry, more action. Concentrate. As impressive as always.
More Sukals?
Keep calm and take them down.
I'm fucking invincible! Alphen and the others truly are strong!
What about me?
It's thanks to you and me. Now! You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Where are you going?
I'm ready!
Here I come!
Now! This is it! Lunar Blast! Uplift impact! Tidal into the shadows! Lunar corruption! Now! I can't imagine what we do without you, Rinwell. Who, me? That's a little much, don't you think? I'm serious. You're a lifesaver. Uplift impact! Lunar Blast!
See what happens there as you cross me.
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that. Eat this!
In here!
Eat this! Faster! That's enough!
Zero
Now
and
take!
the and that's
The Jiminy Flare! I'll crush you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
Hey! Poodle's quivering! I think we're about to be real lucky!
Even in such a harsh environment as this, there are still creatures here?
You think they're native to Rena? Or could they be Zeugles somehow?
Whatever they are, they're dangerous. Watch yourselves around them. You think that pit stretches all the way to Rena's core?
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and end the episode off here.
Spirit at the bottom.
We could
And,
get there even faster if we simply jump down instead.
You
Burr.
sound alarming, Reyes, when you say that.
So we're gonna go ahead and end the episode off here, and when we come back, we're gonna make our descent down. So I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. The game is kind of winding down, and I'm kind of sad to I know, right? Kind of sad to see it, but you know, hey, them's the breaks. But we're gonna go ahead and end the episode off here, and when we come back, we will make our descent. So I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am. But until then, I will catch you guys later for more Tales of Arise.